We're in Heidelberg, Germany, and to the right of me is the beautiful Heidelberg Bridge. To the left of me is the beautiful Heidelberg Castle. Situated between those two is Heidelberg Old Town. Old Town is full of shops, restaurants, pubs, hotels, but that's not what only makes up Heidelberg. There's also agriculture and manufacturing here, which is a good representation of the European culture and society. It's a mixture of beauty, work, invention. It's a great place to come and visit. We're going to go up to Heidelberg Castle here in a few minutes. There's been so much history throughout the European culture, and even the United States culture, that is based right here. We're in downtown Heidelberg, right beside the Church of the Holy Ghost, which you just looked at, and a lot of the royalty from the Heidelberg Castle is buried right inside there. And this here is part of the square, and as we go around to the right behind the camera are streets, and they're filled with vendors, restaurants, shops, and some cottage industries, and the architecture is phenomenal. If we look to the right of me, there is a building there, and that's called the Knight's House. It's one of the oldest houses in Heidelberg. Very decorative, very reminiscent of German architecture. Now as you look behind me, you'll see shop after shop after shop and beautiful rows. This place is packed from morning till night. A great place to come down and eat, sit out, enjoy the atmosphere, have some great schnitzel, a big liter of beer, and you can get beer, a Pilsner that's really good, that's brewed right here in Heidelberg, called Heidelberg Pilsner. So you got to try that out when you come to Heidelberg. Anyway, there's a variety of shops, and a lot of the products that you'll find in the shops, especially the food products, are produced right here around Heidelberg. One thing that you'll find that's in Europe is they're very proud of where they're from, especially their regions. So they like to showcase their work, their wares, and that's what makes Europe a beautiful place, is that everywhere you go, you get a little bit different culture. Outside the gate of the gardens that was built for Elizabeth of England, and this is basically the beginning of a love story, which usually ends in what? Tragedy. Kind of the befall of the castle here. I'm standing on the edge wall, west wall of Castle Heidelberg, overlooking the beautiful city of Heidelberg, which is said to be one of the great romantic cities here in Germany. And it actually started, that romantic aura started right here at Castle Heidelberg as Frederick, who was 16, went to woo Elizabeth in London, who was 16, both of royal families, of course. He wooed her hand, brought her back here, and here's where the tragedy sets in. Showing his love for her, he removed all the cannons that once lined this wall for defenses and turned it into a beautiful garden. He had a building built over here for all her majestic animals. She had a monkey that she actually kept with her, a lot of great animals. But by taking the cannons out of here and making this a beautiful garden, it weakened the defense of this castle, which eventually led to its downfall. So we're going to go over on the other side now and take a look at the exterior wall and down into the pit where they used to have hunts. We're now on one of the interior walls of the castle, and below is the it was a courtyard hunting yard scene where they'd round animals in for hunts. And on the other side was a library, which was very important. And during the 30-Year War, which was the war between the Catholics and the Protestants, the Catholics eventually won, of course. They took the library, which libraries back then was data. And there was no such thing as copy machines or computers or anything else. So once it was written into a book, that was it. Now those books reside in Rome, which much of the books of Europe do reside in Rome. And the Vatican took them and has sealed them. Eventually they will let out some of the manuscripts or whatever. But anyway, a lot of the history here was taken at that point and transferred there. And that's one of the most important things about losing a war is you don't get to write history, the other team does, and that you lose your history because a lot of times it was wiped clean. And on the front of the clock tower, there was a silver medallion. It was made of silver. And when the French came in and helped to conquer this castle, they took that off. And they replaced it with one that said Heidelberg is basically gone. They've wiped Heidelberg off the map, but fortunately, it wasn't wiped off the map. It's still here. So we're going to go up now and going to take a look at the inside, which Heidelberg also houses the world's largest wine cask. I believe it holds 22 or 23,000 liters of wine in this cask. I'm going to grab a hard crust roll and a bratwurst because, hey, I'm in Germany, why not? We're outside the castle now, and a great German dish, which is bratwurst, hard crust bread. They didn't have any beer, so I got a Diet Coke. Actually, you pay more for Diet Coke here than you do beer. They want you to drink the local drink. So. You know they're good. I got 3 of them, so this is going to be my dinner. We're in the courtyard of the great castle of Heidelberg. Now this castle is more than just a castle for this region of Germany. It actually had a lot to do with the formation of the United States of America. It had a lot to do with the English Civil War, because the prince here had children that eventually led to Prince Rupert of the English Civil War, who also became the original Pirates of the Caribbean, and also George Washington. So a lot of history here, a lot of significance. This is kind of like the birthplace for a lot of history that rolled into the United States and also here throughout the region in Germany.